So be a little less responsible.
No, I'm not saying that.
Wait, no.
That are like,
okay,
one's about to go to college, so I can't
back.
say that.
I take that back because I'm not watching anybody's kids. That's the other thing. I'm
Yeah,
done.
we are not watching.
I'm not babysitting anything. All right, topic of the day. I have not prepped you at all.
Lord.
Raising kids is difficult. Having kids is difficult.
Yeah.
Right? It's not something that I think people could really prepare for.
No.
Right? I know for a fact that I have people in my friend circle who, in my mind, are pushing it in terms of the age at which they have chosen to have children.
Okay.
I also know that, both of our families come from the South, and if you go back a generation or two, that age, they were starting early.
Right.
They were starting early. They were making a team. So in the modern day context, for the modern person, right, given all that we know about technology, about fertility, and about career, what is the recommended new age you think is, what's the sweet spot for starting to try to have kids?
Okay, so I would say, one, my answer isn't right or wrong. It's just my opinion.
You get that
Two,
thing every show. Why don't you just start?
That's
Anybody who's seen any of these knows it. Whatever.
That's not true. Fine. I pull it up.
Go.
I think young is the better way to go than older. I just think the amount of energy that is necessary for being able to keep up with your kids being able to keep up with your kids, you need a lot of energy. And it's funny because when you find old videos of us, interacting with the kids, I said to you one day, I was like, I feel like I always look tired, always look tired, but I don't remember feeling the way that I look in the videos, right? But I mean, obviously I wouldn't put on a show. I was tired. So, at the time we had 3 kids. Demi was 7 years older than Amir and Brendan. And then we had 2 dogs. And I don't think that in that time I wasn't anywhere near lick picks in what I'm doing now. So it was mostly just raising kids and juggling schedules and things like that. That was hard. And I was in my 20s. So I wouldn't recommend having kids in my 40s. The trade-off is the amount of money, the stability, the access, your network. It's great. It's fabulous, right? But the trade-off is you can be tired. You can be tired as trying to raise these kids at that age. I'm not saying there's no way. It's just there's a huge difference between the two. And if you're asking me which one I would choose, I would absolutely choose doing it in my 20s all over again. Now, in my 40s, I can look back and watch Demi in her 20s and say, I didn't have a chance to do that with no kids. And I'm excited for her. And I can't say that I'm reliving my 20s through her, but it's fun to watch. It really is fun to watch, knowing that I never got a chance to do that, right? And I say never got a chance like someone took that chance from me. I don't mean it like that. I'm just saying I didn't do that. So it's fun watching her do it in her 20s. And with the boys, it's funny that you asked, because with them, I'm like, ride it till the wheels fall off in your 20s. Have the greatest time. Get all the things done. Travel as much as you want. Enjoy all of it before you have kids, right? But the reality is, when posed the question, I would do it in my 20s again, because the amount of energy that it takes with multiple kids, even one, the difference between 0 and 1 is huge. That's a huge climb. 20s.
So there's a couple other key pressures on that timing. One is career.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say you're trying to get a career started, and then there's genetics. And gender plays a role in both of those pressures.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So my guy, Brad Wilson, who joined us for a couple episodes of the Black Futurist podcast, is a geneticist, and he does a lot of fertility work. And he told me the numbers. He was like, look, for women, you're born with your eggs, like the sockets for your eggs. And I'm using all the wrong words, but he was like, picture like a corn on the cob. He's like, there's a space for each egg, right? And you have them all when you're born. He goes, so by the time you're 30, that's it. Like there's a sharp decline in
little kernels just start popping out.
Well, no, the probability of healthy outcomes for the baby starts to dip at 30. It's like a dramatic dip.
Okay.
He goes, because those eggs are 30 years old. And for men, it's 50. There's the decline, right? So I think that you have to coach your different gender children differently.
I can see that. I think, it's difficult because you have girls or women that are in their young 20s, those that are interested in, being very successful in terms of a career. They are grinding right now. Do you know what I mean? And there's no time for kids.
There's never what time is there for kids?
I know.
There's no time for kids.
I know.
Kids just become part of the equation.
I know.
You get the little strap-on joint. You strap the kid to the breast. Then you keep working.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see someone who's done both. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I had kids and I was able to maintain a great relationship with my kids. I was there for them all the time, going to all the shows and plays, and I was there at night and in the morning and during the daytime, and I was also very successful in my career where I went to work every day. I would love to see that. I just think that there are sacrifices there, and where you may think I'm killing it, other people around you are like, you're really not. You know what I'm saying? I think that the amount of work that it takes to be killing it in both areas, I can't imagine anyone actually being able to do that. The other filter is there are people who don't want to have kids. Yeah. And there are people who will say that the most important thing is legacy and family and being a mother or father, right? So there's no one universal answer for all people. Right. But the filter for this conversation is if it is high on your priority list to genetically pass on to a child, right? Then for women in the 20s is the ideal time to start. Yeah, I think so. And for men, you can hustle harder earlier on. If you stop goofing off, you can hustle harder early on to get your career established, to make some money, to make to collect some assets, to get some clout in your career. You have a little longer to wait. You got actually a bonus bump 20 years that you could still deliver healthy genetics to kids, right? But then you got to worry about your knees and your hips. This is true.
That's the other piece. If you want to be a wrestling coach, Maurice, that's where to start. And that's funny because Maurice is working on that. And one of the things I said to him as a joke was, man, maybe you should have been a little less responsible in your 20s. Let it fly a little bit, man. Go ahead, leave the bed on the table. But that's just silly. That's just me being funny. But anyway, so we have several friends who are of age, like who are like getting, close, getting married and things like that. Yeah. And I think you and I both agree that, okay, you're getting married, start now. Because even though, no matter what you think, no matter how prepared you think you can get, you're never going to be prepared. So you might as well just take it while you can get it early. It's funny. Get the most of it now.
It's funny when you hear people say like, I just want to be ready. And you're like, that's
ain't no damn ready. Ain't no damn ready.
That's not a thing.
Right. It's like the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, right? That's when you go for it. When you just had your last meal. You just ate like regular, and then the apocalypse breaks out.
The most sleep.
This is the time to do whatever the most critical move is right now. You do it as early as possible because you have all of your faculties. Yeah. Later on, I'm gonna be sleeping at campfires. I'm not gonna get adequate sleep. I'm gonna be dragging down. And I'm older, so the best time is the immediate time right there to go for the gusto.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. So be a little less responsible.
No, I'm not saying that. I got 2 kids.
If-
I got 2 more.
Wait, no.
That are like, one's
okay,
about to go to
right.
college, so I
that
can't
back.
say that.
I take that back because I'm not watching anybody's kids. That's the other thing. I'm
Yeah,
done.
we are not watching.
I'm not babysitting anything.
Yeah, no. We are at our. We're about to hit our 20s right now.
Get a little bit of money together. Get some money together. Live close enough to family so that you could get a little assist here and there.
Yeah,
right?
that's huge.
Don't move in with me because that's not going to work.
No.
Move close to family so you can get a little assist here and there, and sprinkle it around a little bit if you think you're good on the person that you're with. If your partner is good, ladies, if you're with a partner who's solid, and you got a little money and a plan together, go early. Guys, you can stay late. Grind a little harder on a career, get into your 30s, establish yourself, and then let it fly. That's what I think. That's it. You disagree?
I know. It's a lot.
All right, it is a lot. So we're gonna watch it with great interest and figure out what
We're gonna fade right out of this one.
and see what they do. Look, I'm not responsible for anything anybody
It's
does.
like Homer Simpson at this point.
You guys go off and have babies. I'm not babysitting. That's all I'm
We're
saying.
not babysitting.